Roger Ward, you've been watching the lead, watching the race, and you've got some things to say.
Well, there's been some interesting developments here. On the last yellow flag, Tom SNEVA elected not to make a pit stop. Now, obviously, we all thought that he would have to make 2 pit stops, but based on how he's running right now, they must have enough fuel for him to make just 1 more stop.
Let's go to the first turn. Ron Carroll.
All right, and it's Mike Mosley up against the wall, Paul. Mike Mosley coming through this first turn, simply lost it. The car made a left to right spin, smacked into the wall right in the south chute where we had the accident a while ago. Mike Mosley now over in the grass. The safety cars are on the scene. Mike Mosley now getting out of the car. I can see him in the car. He's getting out of the car. Perhaps Doug Zink can see him just a little better.
Yes, he's climbing rather slowly out of the car as the fire crews move in very quickly. No sign of fire whatsoever. Mike spun and hit the wall coming off of turn number 1. Slid through the short chute up against the wall, then dropped down across the track, coming to rest, just going into turn number 2. As we said, he unbuckled the seat.
And here comes our leader, Tom SNEVA, and Al Unser both coming in. Let's go to Chuck Marlowe for SNEVA's stop.
If Chuck cannot see it, we've got to look at him from the south end. Meanwhile, the opposite side shows Al Unser in and topping up as well. He is taking no rubber at all, nor is SNEVA. They're both fueling. Al Unser is on his way. The Penske team, fists in the air, are saying, we've got him, we've got him, we've got him. But Tom SNEVA has taken, I suspect, more fuel. It is really critical. This is lap 171. I think these cars can go 28 laps. I don't think they can go 30. They might tell us they could. I don't know. I'd believe them if they do. Meanwhile, we've got now Rick Mears in. So the cars running 1, 2, and 3 have pitted or are about to. Rick Mears has topped up. He's moving on his way. These cars have 29 laps to go. 28 seems to be the outer limit. We'll really have to watch them closely, Paul.
So now the scene begins to be set for the finish. The yellow flag comes out when Mike Mosley hits the wall. The Penske team may have just topped off the car. It was a very fast stop. The Bignotti Cotter team took a little bit longer, perhaps filling the tank. Perhaps they can go the full distance now. Roger Ward, what do you think?
Well, if you'll remember on the last yellow flag, Al Unser and Rick Mears both came in, so they had probably a half a tank of fuel, whereas Tom SNEVA had to be almost out, so it would take longer. However, that really is not going to hurt them too much because on the yellow flag, they'll be almost together again on the racetrack, and then it'll be a race to the finish.
Well, the report is Mike Mosley is okay after climbing out of his race car, the Craco Car Stereos Systems March. And we have, to the point of this yellow that just started, 38 minutes of yellow flag at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
It's a marvel of state-of-the-art automotive design, the Pennzoil Penske Indy car, built for reliability. It takes the skill of Rick Mears, Indy car champ, to handle it, and a motor oil like Pennzoil, engineered for reliability to protect that powerful engine.
When my engine's turning over 10,000 RPMs, it's taking real punishment. That's why I rely on Pennzoil.
Pennzoil makes fine quality motor oil for whatever you drive. Pennzoil, for protection you can rely on.
This bud's for you, for being on the job and working hard all day. So here's to you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through. For all you do, this bud's for you.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Paul Page. We're back at the Indianapolis 500. We are under the yellow flag. Out in front is Al Unser, who made a very fine pit stop. Tom SNEVA moved back into second place. Rick Mears is in third, and Howdy Holmes is in fourth. Now we are at 173 laps. So, John DeCamp, let's pick up the rundown at lap 170.
Paul, the leader on 170 was car number 5, Tom SNEVA. The second place, car number 7, Al Unser Sr. The third place, car number 2, Rick Mears. The fourth placer, car number 12, Jeff Brabham. The fifth placer, car 30, Howdy Holmes. In sixth, car number 18, Mike Mosley. In seventh, car number 16, Kevin Cogan. In eighth, car number 21, Pancho Carter. In ninth, car number 60, Chip Ganassi. In 10th, car number 37, Scott Brayton. In 11th, car number 19, Al Unser Jr. In 12th, car number 20, Gordon Johncock. In 13th spot, car number 56, Steve Chassie. And in 14th spot, car number 72, Chris Neifel. Paul?
Thank you, John DeCamp, for that 170 lap rundown. We are under yellow. Al Unser is out in front, a 3-time winner of the 500. Now on his way perhaps to making it 4, and he will join A.J. Foyt, the only 4-time winner of the Indianapolis 500. 174 laps are complete.
However, in spite of the fact that Al Unser's crew got him out considerably faster than Tom Sneva's, they are right together on the racetrack. We have the pace car, we have Howdy Holmes, who is a lap behind, then we have Al Unser and Tom Sneva directly behind him.
So Donald Davidson watching that. Let's go down to Lou Palmer and find out, Lou, if we can, knowing that we're not sure what the answer will be, whether or not the Penske cars took on enough fuel to make the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. The question is what to believe, in fact, as we do approach them. We're moving behind the Penske pit at the moment, as a matter of fact. Roger has stationed himself at the extreme south end. I have been more toward the center. Let me check if I can here, just a moment. I'm not sure Dan can give us an answer, but do you have any indication to tell us whether or not you can go the distance on the top-up that you just ran?
Well, based on the mileage we've been getting so far in the race, we should be able to make it. Al has gotten as much as 31 on the green and up to 35 laps with a couple of cautions thrown in.
All right, thank you very much. And for Rick, same situation?
Rick's hanging in there. He's been having a few handling problems, which I think are pretty evident today. He's driving the heck out of our Pennzoil Penske, though, and we're hoping for a good 1-2 team finish.
All right, Dan Luganville, Paul, there's our answer.
So they say they can make it. They say that they've taken the fuel they need to go to the finish. Stay tuned for the greatest spectacle in racing. This is Paul Page. We're back live at the Indianapolis 500 as the green flag flies on the main straightaway. Al Unser acknowledges the green with a burst of speed and leads Tom Sneva down to the first turn. Ron Carroll.
And it is Al Unser. Tom Sneva getting around Mike Mosley right, or rather Howdy Holmes right now, right on the tail of Al Unser.
And Al Unser coming through too. And now Tom Sneva closing in just a little bit.
Up the backstretch they come, and Unser still has the lead, but Sneva is about 10 car lengths behind Delury.
Well, here we go. Tom Sneva's in pursuit of Al Unser Sr., but Al Unser Sr. with about a 10-car length lead over Sneva into 4.
A lap ago, little Al Unser ducked below his father and passed him before the yellow came out. That's the way they're running on the racetrack, but Al Sr. is your leader.
Al Sr. goes around his son now on the main straightaway. Clicking by on lap 176. Tom Sneva about 200 yards back.
And can it be a repeat of last year? Al Unser, Tom Sneva in pursuit of the checkered flag. Doug.
And here comes car number 7, the Hertz Penske through turn number 2. Al Unser with open field ahead of him. Howdy.
And he flashes by. There is Sneva right behind him, up to turn 3.
And before the yellow flag came out, I thought Al Unser Sr. was running faster than Tom Sneva, and he's showing it right now. He's about 20 car lengths ahead, going into 4.
But Tom Sneva is not all that far behind. It is a good race here as Al Unser right now leading Tom Sneva, but Sneva, it appears to me, is closing in.
Al Unser, the car number is 7. It's the Penske Hertz. Al Unser from Albuquerque, New Mexico, leads the 500. Tom Sneva chases.
And Tom Sneva, 3 times a bridesmaid on the tail of Al Unser, 3 times a winner. What a race this is, Doug.
Here they come through turn number 3. It's a Big Al, then Little Al, then Tom Sneva in second in the Texaco Star.
Streaking down the backstretch toward turn 3 as they approach 220 miles an hour.
What a birthday present it would be for Al Unser Sr. to win number 4. He's still got that big lead over Tom Sneva as they head to turn 4.
Sneva has demonstrated all day superiority with that car. The question is, was the Penske crew hanging back? It appears that may be true.
Al Unser Sr. being chased by his son. Now his son is actually back in the field in 10th position. But now the question, will will there be a family deal here? Because Al Unser Jr., Little Al, is in position to hold SNEVA back. What do you think, Roger Ward?
Well, obviously he's in a position to do that, but if Tom SNEVA makes up his mind to pass Al Jr., I'm sure that he'll be able to do that. However, as he's kind of coasting along there, or actually driving along there and behind the two Al Unsers, you have to wonder whether or not his car really is as superior as perhaps we thought it was all day.
Well, now we're coming up on the last 20 laps of the 67th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Al Unser Sr., a three-time winner, is on his way to making it a fourth win. Already, they are building victory lane down below him. And then in second place sits Tom SNEVA. See if Tom SNEVA can go the full distance here at the Indianapolis 500. Al Unser Jr., currently in 10th place, is sitting back in between his father and Tom SNEVA as he pulls now a little to the inside. Maybe he's going to give way to Tom SNEVA. The lap rundown at 180 with 20 to go. Here's John DeCamp.
Paul, the leader at 180 laps is car number 7, Al Unser Sr. In second place, car number 5, Tom SNEVA. In third spot, car number 2, Rick MEARS. Fourth, Howdy Holmes, car number 30. In fifth place, it's car number 12, Jeff BRABHAM. In sixth place, car number 16, Kevin Cogan. In seventh place, car number 21, Pancho Carter. In eighth place, car number 60, Chip Ganassi. In ninth place, car number 37, Scott Brayton. And in 10th place, car number 19, Al Unser Jr. Paul?
The lap rundown at 180 laps as we wait for the time and speed on the 180th lap interval, with Al Unser out in front of the Indianapolis 500. They ran 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 24 seconds to get to lap 180. Al Unser, the leader at that point. Al Unser leading Tom SNEVA. In third place is Rick MEARS, Al Unser's teammate. In fourth place is Howdy Holmes with a fine race, and Jeff BRABHAM has dropped back into fifth position. The average speed at 180 laps, 159.38 miles an hour, 159.38. Donald Davidson, how does that look for the record books?
That's dropped back quite a bit because of that yellow pole. The record is 162.260. That was set in 1972, and Jerry Grant in the Mystery Eagle was the person to do it.
Well, it's been a very, very long dry spell for Al Unser, but it doesn't look like it's going to last much longer. He's out in front of this Indianapolis 500. 182 laps are now complete. 18 to go with Al Unser in front. This is Paul Page. We are back live at the Indianapolis 500. Al Unser Sr. is leading at lap 184. Tom SNEVA is chasing him. Now just 0.8 of a second back, but seeming to be content in maintaining that position. We still have little Al sitting in between the leader, his father, Al Unser Sr., and Tom SNEVA, the second place car.
Well, actually, as you get towards the end of the race, Al Unser shows his real mettle as a driver. He is just as tough as a bulldog, and he is not going to let Tom SNEVA just drive up there and drive by. However, it looks as though Tom SNEVA may be getting ready to make his move. As a matter of fact, Al Jr. has closed a little bit on his father, and they're running lap speeds of about 193 miles an hour.
Here comes Howdy Holmes into the pits. Let's go to Jerry Baker.
I've got him, Paul. They're now refueling. They checked the right side rubber and left rear rubber also. They've got the front wheel on. Now the left rear goes on. A little trouble on the right side. Right rear is on. They have topped off the fuel. Howdy Holmes waiting. He's waving to his crew. Come on, let's go. They continue to fuel up. The team captain, let's go. They pull up the fuel. Down go the jacks, and there goes Howdy Holmes.
The car is loaded, and he lights the tires as Howdy Holmes screams out of the pits and on his way back into the race. In a moment, we'll see whether or not he maintained his position with that stop. His crew apparently trying some strategy there. Let's go to the second turn now. Doug Zink as we watch the leaders.
And as we pick him up, here comes Al Unser in car number 7. Right behind him is his son, Al Jr. in car 19. SNEVA has dropped off the pace just a little bit.
Al Jr. moves up closer to his dad as they streak down the middle of the backstretch as they approach turn 3. Al is on the low side, Al Jr.
Little Al looks like he wants to take his dad, just can't do it, but that helps Tom SNEVA stay up close. They're running right together as they go into turn 4.
Well, it's either that or race strategy. I don't know which it is, but Al Unser Jr. very low on the racetrack. When they come off the turn, he's either blocking SNEVA from passing or perhaps trying to make a move himself.
Well, Little Al may be helping Dad as Tom SNEVA comes alongside, tries to get by Little Al, but Little Al slams the door on him. Ronnie.
He's got him. He slams him again. Tom SNEVA has to stay into third place. That silver bullet is right on the tail of his dad, Al Unser Sr.
And now Al Jr. and Tom SNEVA have dropped back somewhat as Al Unser Sr. has picked up the pace just a little.
They drop back about 10, 15 car lengths behind Al Sr. now as they go into turn 3.
2 or 3 times we've seen Little Al slam the door on Tom SNEVA and keep him from catching his dad. I don't know whether Little Al's doing it intentionally or not, but he's doing a great job of blocking.
Well, he sure is, and here they are in front of me. Al Unser Sr. is leading. Tom SNEVA is dropping back just a little bit.
Maybe Little Al is trying to give his dad a whale of a birthday present as he continues to stay between his dad and the second place car of Tom SNEVA. And he's doing a pretty good job, Roger Ward, of keeping Tom back a bit.
Actually, what he's doing is, as they come off of turn 4 and turn 2, he's moving down to the middle of the racetrack. Now that allows SNEVA to do some drafting, but he is so low on the racetrack he can't get underneath as they go into the turn.
So the scene's set now for the finish of the Indianapolis 500. Stay tuned for the greatest spectacle in racing.
This bud's for you, for being on the job and working hard all day. So here's to you, for all you do, the king of beers is coming through. For all you do, this bud's for you. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Running the Indy 500. That's the most severe stress test for an engine. And that's where Pennzoil's high technology and quality are tested to the limit. Rick Mears, IndyCar champion and driver of the Pennzoil Penske IndyCar, says,
when I'm hitting over 200 miles per hour with an engine turning over 10,000 RPM, I rely on Pennzoil for tough protection.
Pennzoil, stress tested for tough protection.
I rely on Pennzoil for my personal cars too. Ask for it.
This is Paul Page. We're back at the Indianapolis 500. Here comes Tom SNEVA moving out, trying to get alongside Al Unser Jr. as he chases his dad, Al Sr., and SNEVA does it. So SNEVA pulls right up behind Big Al. Ronnie.
And they're in a little traffic right now. Car 22 is in between them, but Tom SNEVA gets him. He's in the second place position.
And Tom SNEVA dropping below the line, closes in now on Al Unser as they go up the backstretch toward Howdy.
They flash by Essen. It's nose to tail as SNEVA drops down inside on the low side. Larry, has he taken him?
I think Tom SNEVA's got it. Yes, SNEVA's in the lead. He does a move. He has to get by Chris Neifel. He goes to the low side of Neifel. He's around him at the short chute. SNEVA in the lead into 4.
SNEVA sneaking past Chris Neifel, and Tom SNEVA is in the lead at the 500.
Tom SNEVA's back out in front once again as he gets around Al Unser Sr. Big Al now has his work cut out as he chases. They go below Steve Chassis. There's SNEVA still leading Ron Carroll.
And Tom has car 56, Steve Chassis between him and Tom SNEVA as they head into 2.
And Tom SNEVA is really putting the distance between him and Al Unser. Chassis is still in between them as they go up the backstretch.
True, SNEVA continues to pull away as the traffic in the mid-stretch down the backstretch gets heavier and heavier. SNEVA pulls away in 3.
Tom SNEVA's already through 3, and here comes Al Sr. He's being blocked now by his son. He's in 4.
Boy, Tom SNEVA is indeed pulling away from second place Al Unser Sr. As a matter of fact, Howdy Holmes is moving up quickly.
So maybe a problem for Al Unser Sr. as Tom SNEVA pulls away. So Sharon SNEVA, who keeps track of the scoring for her husband, just wrote a big position 1 for Tom SNEVA. Car number 5, the Texaco Stars. It screams down the backstretch toward Larry Henry.
Here comes Tom SNEVA, the crowd on their feet. They're cheering Tom. They want him to win his first Indianapolis 500, and he has a 2-turn lead now into 4. Tom SNEVA in front of me. He's waited many years to pull off the victory. Here, meanwhile, comes Al Unser Sr. in second position, but it's a good lead for Tom.
Tom SNEVA flashes across the line, completes lap 193. Just 194 he just completes. So now just 6 laps between Tom SNEVA and a victory at the Indianapolis 500. Roger Ward, the interval out to about 7.5 seconds. He's averaging 196 miles an hour as Tom SNEVA still pouring on the coal. The Texaco star now on the backstretch coming toward Larry Henry.
There he goes again. He's got the entire back straightaway as a lead now, and he's over into turn 4 already. And a car right in front of him would be Scott Brayton. He'll be trying to make a move on him in either the straightaway or the first turn.
Here comes Tom SNEVA onto the main stretch. Scott Brayton in front of him about 250 yards. Number 5 across the line one more time. Tom SNEVA has never won the Indianapolis 500, is on his way. Ron Carroll.
Tom SNEVA, a bridesmaid in 1977, 78, and 80, leading right now as they're in turn 2.
And he's closing in on slower driver Scott Brayton in car number 37 as he maneuvers up the backstretch.
And as he goes past our position, we don't even see the second place car coming around the set. There he is right now, and they should be to Larry Henry in turn 3.
Well, here goes Tom SNEVA. Oh, these last few laps are going to be so long for him. You'll hear every sound in that car. He's into turn number 4.
He sure will. He has managed to place himself around Scott Brayton and now pretty much clean sailing ahead of him on the straightaway.
Well, it looks like George Bignotti may have done it again. Prepared another winner. His 7th at the 500 as Tom SNEVA heads down the main stretch. Al Unser is in second. Rick Mears in third. Jeff Brabham in fourth.
Tom SNEVA 3 times the runner-up, 1977, 1978, 1980, in a substituted car from the last row, last position in fact. The first man over 200 miles an hour, the pole sitter in 77 and 78, the fastest qualifier in 1981, back in the pack, up through the field to lead. When people tried to say, don't you think that the fast qualifier should start up front? He said, it's good if some of the fast ones are in the back. It's good for the people. If anybody deserves to win the Indianapolis 500, it is Tom SNEVA.
Now 8 seconds out in front as he comes to the main stretch one more time. Tom SNEVA, a commanding lead now. 8 seconds, but of course it takes only a hesitation in that engine, and that lead is gone, Roger Ward.
Well, you're right. However, his crew is over there trying to slow him down a little bit. You'd think maybe he would slow. However, when a car is running comfortably, you don't really want to slow down. You just want to keep up that rhythm. You don't abuse the car anymore by running a mile or two faster. And if you were to perhaps try to slow down, you might lose your coordination or your rhythm, and you could then slow dramatically.
Al Unser comes by, continues his pursuit of Tom SNEVA. He's 10 seconds back. Then Rick Mears just a few seconds back from that. But Jeff Brabham is beginning to close down on Rick Mears. So let's keep an eye on Jeff Brabham, who's driving a fine race as well. Here comes Tom SNEVA across the line one more time. 198 laps complete, just 2 to go. Ron Carroll.
And Tom SNEVA is through the first turn, down through that south chute, over into the second turn, looking beautiful.
Through turn number 2, there's nobody on the backstretch or up in turn number 3. It's a clear road ahead.
He zips right by us, just clean as a whistle as he pounds down this backstretch.
And it's interesting, George Bignotti helped to develop the March car, which Tom SNEVA is driving today, and SNEVA looks like he's heading to victory. He's into turn number 4.
When you talk about nice guys, you talk about Tom SNEVA, and there are many people in the fans, in the stands, who had hoped that he would pull off a victory someday, and he's very close.
The white flag to Tom SNEVA with a 10-second lead starts his last 2.5 miles.
SNEVA, age 34, from Spokane, Washington, on his way to his first 500-mile victory, Doug.
And the fans on their feet in turn number 2, waving their hats, waving their scarves, whatever they've got, sending him up the backstretch.
By here, they're doing the same thing. Everyone frantically and happily waving as he approaches turn 3.
The hats are off, the hands are up. Tom SNEVA, a half a lap to his first first Indianapolis 500 victory. He could coast almost from here. He's in fourth. The 67th running of the Indianapolis 500 is about to be capped off. To call the winner, here is the voice of the 500, Paul Page.
The Texaco star, Tom SNEVA, screams for the line, the double checkered flag, and Tom SNEVA has won the Indianapolis 500, his first victory ever at Indianapolis. Al Jr. slows down on the back stretch as his dad crosses the line in second place. Now we watch for Rick Mears. They're coming toward the finish now for the second car in the Penske team. Here comes Mears, car number 2, the Pennzoil Penske, finishing in third, and Jeff Brabham comes by in fourth. The Indianapolis 500 is over. The checkered flag flies as Steve Chassis puts his hand in the air to say that he is slowing, and the cars begin to slow on the main stretch. But Tom SNEVA has gotten the job done. It is Tom SNEVA that has won his first Indianapolis 500. His wife Sharon jumping up and down now, her scoring job done for the day. The crew, they're ecstatic as they run down the pit lane. Everyone now heads for victory lane. Here comes that crew of the Texaco star. George Bignotti is there, Dan Cotter is there, another of the owners on the car. They earned this victory, they paid for it with their sweat and their toil as they run toward victory lane and wait for their champion, Tom SNEVA. The Indianapolis 500 is over. Tom SNEVA has won the car. Al Unser Jr., who played spoiler for so long, now sits at a rest on the inside of the turn. His car is silent, the motor off. He will not finish the full 500 miles. But the day belongs to Tom SNEVA. That red, white, and blue Texaco star now turns toward victory lane. And here is Lou Palmer. Lou?
He has arrived, and he's overdue. Tom SNEVA brings the Texaco star into victory lane, and though you can't really see a face, you'll know he's smiling. A thumbs-up signal to those alongside, including Joe Cotier. Sally French, our 500 Festival Queen, alongside, ready to make that victory kiss that rather seals it all. Tom SNEVA has won the 500 that we all knew one day he would. They're unbuckling the equipment now. First, the liquid replenishment tube coming off, unplugged from the helmet itself with the radio connections undone, the steering wheel off the car, the neck liner, one that holds the neck in an upright position, is off, the visor is up, the glasses are off, and little by little, Tom SNEVA is making his way back into the real world after 500 extraordinary, sensational miles. Even George Bignotti, who has been here 6 times, certainly has that extra special look about him now. Shaking hands with the crew all around. Mike Reed leaning over the car. We did it. We did it. And Tom SNEVA coming up and out. The earplugs are being removed and the hat is on. And Tom SNEVA, our 500 winner, gets his first kiss from his wife. Coming in now, a big hug. And here on this side of the car, another one will be coming as the laurel wreath is offered up. And Tom SNEVA accepts a salute from Sally French, our 500 Festival Queen.